Ladies and gentlemen, a new version of Minecraft has been released. This is Java Edition 1.14.3. From a minor release like this, expect mostly fixes and tweaks rather than big new features. My name is Slime. I'm here to take you on a guided tour of all the changes in Minecraft Java Edition 1.14.3. Let's start out with stability and performance. A large number of crash fixes have been done in this version, but also a lot of performance improvements. Some types of particles would cause enormous amounts of lag. This was especially apparent during the Ender Dragon fight. That has been fixed in this version. You could sometimes get thousands of mobs per player into your world, which, of course, reduced performance quite drastically. That has been fixed as well. Chunk rendering and resource loading and mob spawning performance have all been improved, and as a special case, the rendering performance of pistons while extending or retracting have also been improved. There are also several other errors that got spammed out into the game's log file that have been fixed in this version. Now, let's talk about changes to villages. Farmer villages' behavior have been tweaked. In specific, they will now work more like farmers. They will farm more blocks at once when they walk around and farm, more similar to how the old villages from previous versions would act. Villager inventories could also get filled with items, in which case they would stop many of their behaviors. That has been fixed in this version as well. Sometimes, even when there were no free beds, villagers would keep breeding. And when working, they would sometimes flicker between employed and unemployed versions. When villagers noticed danger, they would frequently run straight towards that mob instead of away from it. And they wouldn't flee at all from zombie villagers, just from zombies. That has also been fixed. Iron golem spawning has changed. Villagers got flooded with golems, and that has been fixed in this version, which definitely does have an impact on iron farms. Do note though that villagers in panic mode now have a higher chance of spawning a golem, which can be used to make new and interesting types of iron farms. However, do note that the villager has to have slept and worked during the last in-game day cycle. The last slept and last worked status for a villager is now properly saved as well, so they should no longer completely change behaviors when stopping and starting a server or reloading a single-player world. And Zombie Sieges, the event where lots of zombies attack a village, had stopped working, and that is back in this version. Let's talk about the other side of Village and Pillage in patrols. Vindicators no longer spawn as part of patrols. The minimum time for patrols to spawn has been doubled. It used to be 5 minutes or more, it's now 10 minutes or more. And the biomes where patrols spawn have been changed. Patrols are now allowed to spawn in any biome except the mushroom biomes. Villager patrols will also spawn on blocks that mobs wouldn't spawn on, such as slabs and carpets and stairs and leaves and so on. That has also been fixed. Patrols also no longer spawn if the block light level disallows monster spawning. That means that if you light up your base, patrols will no longer spawn in there. This is not related to darkness in the direct sense. Patrols still spawn in the daytime. But if you have lighting enough that no other mobs would spawn at night, then patrols won't spawn either. And as a final fix to patrols, villager captains would sometimes spawn without their banners. And as a final part of the discussion of villagers, let's talk about raids. When you killed a raid captain during a raid, then you would still get bad omen, which would extend the raid. That has been fixed in this version. And raid positioning was off in a previous version, where among other issues you could get multiple overlapping raids. The raid will now center around all of the work sites in a village, which should cause the raid to be more properly centered on the village, and you will also never get multiple overlapping raids anymore. Let's talk about other changes to other mobs. The hostile mob spawn rate was too high, that's fixed in this version. And hostile mobs would also spawn on top of trapdoors, glowstone and lanterns. That's also fixed. Zombie pigman anger mechanics have been tweaked in this version. They would previously spread their anger forever if they can respawn, even if the player was not visible. The player now has to be visible to the zombie pigman who spreads the anger in order for that event to occur. Let's stay in the nether for the next fix. When using a shield against a flame arrow or fireball, then you would still get set on fire. This is very apparent when fighting blazes. And speaking of blazes, blazes were able to see players through blocks and shoot at players through blocks. Endermen and blazes did not drop experience if you killed them with a splash or a lingering water bottle. But that's enough about the hostile mobs, let's talk friendlier mobs. Foxes that trust and defend a player would not attack other players or their dogs, even though they attacked the player that the fox was defending. Baby foxes and chickens would suffocate when jumping under a block. And baby trader llamas would instantly despawn. All of those fixed in this version. Let's move on to gameplay. Some fairly substantial changes to the crafting mechanics made in Minecraft 1.14. Repairing items has been re-added to the game. Items can now once again be crafted together to repair them. But of course you lose the enchantments on the items and you don't get any experience as you would if you did the same thing in a grindstone. The enchanting system has also been reverted entirely to the way it was before Minecraft 1.14. And a light bug has been fixed where skylight would appear even though there are blocks above. Players in survival mode didn't get the dolphin's grace effect, despite being close to a dolphin, if the dolphin could not pathfind to the player. Change to an advancement. The how did we get here advancement no longer requires the saturation effect. And the advancement location trigger worked inconsistently for structures that were added in Minecraft 1.9 or later. So if you didn't get an advancement that hinges on you entering a structure, that should work properly now. Placement mechanic changes. Torches, lanterns and pressure plates can now be placed on top of glass panes and iron bars. And lanterns can now be placed underneath iron bars or glass panes. Some trading fixes. Villager trade user interface didn't close when a major change happened to the villager, such as that villager changing dimensions, and the same went for the wandering trader. Both of those bugs could be exploited to get free trades, and they've been patched out in this version. The hover text on the wandering trader user interface would imply that trades could get unlocked again, and that has been removed in this version. Double chests didn't display a custom name if you'd named it in an anvil. And the water falling into other water would convert some of the source blocks into flowing blocks. That has been fixed in this version as well. A visual change in this version, legs on cats would clip through the top of the model. And to round things off, let's go through some technical changes. Entities did not function in force-loaded chunks. That has been fixed in this version. Hostile mobs in chunks near the border of the loaded world once again count towards the mob cap. There's a new game rule. You can now turn off raids by using /game rule disable raids and setting that to true. When the spectators generate chunks game rule was set to false, then chunks would not be loaded even if they were already generated. Structure blocks did not work with double blocks like beds. That has been fixed in this version. And you are once again able to use the /summon command to summon trader llamas. Finally, if you have recipes in your data pack that are broken and can't be loaded, those will now properly output the errors to the log file. And those are all the changes for Minecraft Java Edition 1.14.3. If you wanted to upgrade it to this version, make sure you're using the latest release installation in your Minecraft launcher. If you don't see any version mentioned, then just hit play and the Minecraft launcher should automatically upgrade to the latest version, which is now this, Minecraft Java Edition 1.14.3. And that is all from me for this time. My name is Slime. I hope you enjoyed this update video, and if you did, please help me out, leave a like and share it with your friends. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest Minecraft news, then please subscribe to my channel where I do update videos for every new snapshot, pre-release or release of Minecraft. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.